new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, build life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. Here's your host.
Hey, Grand Rising to you billionaires. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street, the Money and Power Show, for our special presentation, which is Black Woman Wednesday. That's right, Black Woman Wednesday. We got a lot to cover, a lot to get done this little hour that we have here today, but we are ready to rock and roll here today. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. The book that I wrote, guys, is a study of Black wealth. It's a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way. But if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. Well, you can find that book by simply going to the website, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com, www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. The book is available in English and in French for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. And it's available in ebook and also soft copy in English. And so you can find that book by simply going there, theblackbillionairesclub.com, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today. You'll find that link in the description above or below. Today's episode being brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, which specializes in Afrocentric home decor, personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. So we made some adjustments to our store to make sure that we are relevant for such a time as this. And so we do have, we've added some electronics, we've added some CBD products, and we also added our COVID-19 products as well. And that's right up here on your feature page where you get the organic bears, worms, or fruit slices. The CBD infused fruit slices or gummies. We do have also all of your masks, from your medical masks, your 3-ply masks, your KN95s, your N99s, all the way to some fashion stuff. And guys, look at this. We do have your filters available now. So filters just came in. So if you're using a reusable mask, which is something that you can wash, well, then now you have a filter that you can replace as well. So you can have a mask for a long time, right? You can have a mask for a long time. The dual sports masks are coming in as well. We do have some more fashion masks that come from some of our seamstresses here in our local area as well. So make sure that you shop Black with ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace. I want you guys to remember this, that once you shop Black, once you decide to shop Black, you never go back, man. Check us out at www.theblackbazaar.com, www.theblackbazaar.com. We love to do business with you. Group economics works when we work it. Group economics works when we work it. So let's start out, guys, here today. Again, hit the like button and share button if you care. Like button and share button if you care. Free financial education for the nation. Here today on this Black Woman Wednesday. I'd love to know where you're connecting from. What city, what state, what country you are connecting from. We're broadcasting across the World Wide Web, across YouTube, and also Facebook. Just love to know just how far we might be extending. How far are we reaching today? Let us know. What city, what state, what country, rep your city. Good morning to you. Queen Vivian is in the house. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street. On the Money and Power Show. Queen Amanda is in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. King Ryan Great Scott is in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. Queen Yolanda is with us here this morning. Thanks so much. YKJ. I feel like I'm going into a new millennium. Is here with us here today. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the Money and Power Show. Now, today is all about the Black woman. That's right. And I don't have a guest here with me today, but I said we still going to have Black Woman Wednesday, as we are just going to honor and appreciate. I know we just got through Mother's Day, but man, it's always a great day to praise the Black woman. I mean, every day is a good day to lift up the Black woman. Okay, fellas, I'm just going to let you know that every day is a good day to do that. We just pull out Wednesday, say here is Black Woman Wednesday, where we're going to honor, appreciate, love, and adore, and show our appreciation, show our respect for all that you do as a Black woman to help our community continue to grow, build, develop, and stay together and stay. I mean, that's pretty big, man. So we appreciate what you do, your strength, your grace, your charm, your beauty. Oh, Lord. I don't know, man. It's something about a black woman. I mean, whew. All right, so we're going to continue to show our love and appreciation all throughout the day here today for Black Woman Wednesday. That's right, man. And then later on, guys, I'll get from you guys because we're still waiting for people to get up. See, something happens. It's like Monday and Tuesday, we be up. Then we get to Wednesday, the turn of the week, and it's like, man, we start getting up later. Yeah, we're just not consistent. I don't know what's going on, but it's normal. It's normal behavior. It is what it is. Now, we are going to start our day with we're going to start our day right here, the 52-week savings challenge. So, you guys don't know, on Wednesdays is when we do this because Wednesday was the beginning of was January 1st was on a Wednesday. So every week, according to the week, we're going to put that amount of money into our savings container. So we have, let me do this, because it's the save train. That's right. It's the save train. And I'm your conductor, Mr. Save-A-Lot, here today for our 52-week save challenge. And we are into week number 20. What that means is that each week, according to the number of the week, we're going to put that amount of money into our savings container. So I have a savings container here. It's called Straight Outta Money. What that means is that if for some reason I got to go into this thing and this thing gets empty some kind of way, I must be straight out of money. And we want to keep that from happening. So what we do is we feed the jar. That's right. We feed the jar each week with our challenge money. And so here we have Andrew Jackson. Y'all know who that is. Y'all know what that look like. That's that 20 because it's week number 20. We almost halfway through this thing. And so we're just going to take that week number 20. We're going to pop that thing into our container, close that thing off so no thieves can get to it. And now we have completed week number 20. Now this means that I should have at this particular time $210 in my savings container. That's right. I should have $210 as of this week in my savings container. So I don't know who's been keeping up, but we're going to keep on keeping on. Now, of course, every week when we have our savings challenge, we also have a quote, right? Our money quote of the day. And our money quote is this: every time you borrow money, you're robbing your future self. Every time you borrow money, you're robbing your future self. And that's from Nathan W. Morris. Every time you borrow money, you're robbing your future self. Now we understand that we live in a world that's built on debt. We live in a country that's built on debt. And so because that's all that our country knows, they push the debt agenda on the people. So that the people are in debt to the country and the country is in debt to some other country. That's all they know. So why would they teach anything else if all that they know and how we operate as a society is on debt? How many guys know, though, just because the country's in debt don't mean that I got to be? How many guys know that being in debt is an individual decision? And I don't know about you, but I didn't like being in debt. I didn't. I didn't like someone calling me, reminding me, sending me bills. I didn't like that. I want to send the bills out. I didn't want to have the bill sent to me. But every time I borrowed money, I was robbing my future self. And it took years. It took years to finally pay off stuff that I had borrowed that I didn't even have anymore. Just think about it. I borrowed some money for a couch. And, I was still paying for the couch, although I didn't have the couch no more. Anybody still paying for something that they borrowed money for that either they don't have anymore or they don't use anymore? Put that in the comments below. What's that for you? Something that you might still be paying for years later that you no longer own or you no longer use or you never use, i.e. that degree. You borrowed money to go to school to get that degree, and you don't use it, but you're still paying for it. How's that working out for you? Oh, how's that working out for you? Man, I got $80,000, $100,000 in debt for this degree that I'm not using. What an experience. Being in debt is an individual decision. Being in debt is an individual decision. So let's move on, guys. So, I'm sorry. So week 20 of the 52-week savings challenge is now complete. All aboard. All right, guys, we're going to get to our political piece this morning. Our political piece, which is coming from a Black History Reader, which was written by Dr. Claude Anderson. Dr. Claude Anderson is one of the great minds of our day. He's written a book called Powernomics. He's written another book called Black Labor, White Wealth. And now he has a book, which is on the political side, Black History Reader, 101 Questions That You Never Thought to Ask. Now, today's question, I'm going to go ahead and put pineapples on the question because I don't even know what this is, but maybe somebody out there that's a little bit more knowledgeable to me know what the hell it is we're going to be talking about. Because the question is, what was meritorious manumission, and does it still apply to Blacks? So if there's anybody that you know what this is, meritorious manumission, hey, good, hey, you know what I'm saying, you're a scholar. I don't know what the hell it is. So I'm about to have a pineapple moment to find out what the hell meritorious manumission, what the hell it is. And then I guess he'll tell us in his own words what he thinks as far as does it still relate to Black. So the Money and Power Show here on Black Woman Wednesday. What was meritorious manumission, and does it still apply to Blacks? Pineapples. Let's read. So meritorious manumission was the legal act of freeing a slave for good deeds, as defined by the National Public Policy. The term meritorious means something earned. Manumission means becoming free or freedom. So during slavery, a slaveholder could grant freedom to a slave who distinguished himself by saving the life of a white person, inventing or designing something that enriched a white person, or snitched on other members of his race, especially those Blacks who were resisting and contemplating a revolt. Meritorious manumission policies were not intended to unify slaves or make them more self-supportive humans. Instead, the policies were designed to keep Blacks non-threatening and under control. Meritorious manumission became a public policy in the early 1700s and was introduced into the Virginia legislature as a law in 1710. Incorporated into every aspect of the slavery system, it remained an active carrot and incentive through the social integration process, and it is still an operating principle at this time. Meritorious manumission recognized and rewarded Blacks who accepted their assigned position, but for personal gain would thwart openly or nefariously the efforts by other Blacks to alter the racial status quo. The first person known to have received meritorious manumission set the baseline for benefits. Peter M. Bergen, in his book, The Chronological History of the Negro, said the first person to receive a meritorious manumission was a Negro named Will, who was recognized for having impeded a slave revolt in the South Carolina colony. He was awarded his freedom for performing a public service. Will's freedom papers provided that he enjoy and have all the liberties, privileges, and immunities of or to be a free Negro. Once the public policy was in place, an endless number of slaves became sensitive to freedom opportunities that they could earn. In the 150 years between 1710 and 1860, Black slaves reportedly revealed the plans for over 300 possible slave revolts or insurrections. Slaves warned slaveholders or the general public of the pending revolts in hopes of receiving meritorious manumission in the forms of personal recognition and material benefits. Another notable example of a Black person seeking meritorious manumission occurred on the eve of the Civil War. In 1859, abolitionist John Brown and his raiding party traveled to Harper's Ferry, Virginia, to capture weapons from a United States Marine Corps armory to free Black slaves. When John Brown and his party entered the town, a black man who had already won meritorious manumission was sitting on the porch of the railroad station and recognized Brown and his party. The black man, Hayward Shepherd, ran to alert the town that Brown was in town to free the slaves. Brown's raiders shot Shepherd down in the street. He was free to sit on the porch that evening because he was no longer a slave. In gratitude for Hayward Shepherd's outstanding behavior of placing white society's political economic interests above the freedom and needs of members of his own race, the town erected a monument honoring him. The Hayward Shepherd statue was stored beside the city's mayor museum and covered with a wooden box in the 1960s. The inscription on the statue that the town of Harper's Ferry erected to honor Hayward Shepherd read, Hayward Shepherd statue in Harper's Ferry, West Virginia, source of author's personal collection. On the night of October 16th, Hayward Shepherd, an industrious, respected colored freeman, was mortally wounded by John Brown's raiders in pursuance of his duty as an employee of the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad Company. He became the first victim of this attempted insurrection. This boulder is erected by the United Daughters of the Confederacy and the Sons of the Confederate Veterans as a memorial to Hayward Shepherd, exemplifying the character and faithfulness of thousands of Negroes who, under many temptations throughout subsequent years of war, so conducted themselves that no stain was left upon a record which is peculiar heritage of the American people and an everlasting tribute to the best in both races. Whew. Meritorious manumission behavior is often observed, especially in the ranks of Black elected officials, ministers, civil rights leaders, athletes, and entertainment personalities. These visible people, anointed by others as leading Blacks, are sometimes aloof and disconnected from their own race. They're often required to disavow and abandon their own people in exchange for public attention, financial resources, and personal comfort. Once co-opted by the power structure, they are effective tools to be used against or to control the Black masses. The divide and conquer scheme makes a Black minority even weaker and more exploitable. Blacks seeking meritorious manumission, for instance, will endorse political candidates knowing they will deliver nothing to Black people. They will support integration within any group before seeking to strengthen their own people. Worst of all, those seeking modern-day meritorious manumission believe that the advancement of their own race is wholly dependent on the advancement of the white race and all the other peoples of the world. Meritorious manumission opportunities today are typically presented as symbols and incentives for satisfying race relations, such as being asked to support public policies that subordinate the interests of Native Black Americans to the interests of women, the LGBT, immigrants, and other fabricated minorities. Most Black civil rights leaders and elected officials that allow these groups to be equated to and ranked over Blacks are seeking their meritorious manumission. So keep your eyes on Fox and CNN or NBC television news channels and see if you can identify Blacks seeking and getting meritorious manumission rewards and recognition. Whoo! Sometimes this stuff ain't easy to read, by the way. It ain't easy to read, man. Now, I think like this, they have this thing called the Black Boule, right? He said, hey, just see if you can notice, all your brothers and sisters that are actually seeking meritorious manumission. They're looking to get rewarded by white folk by basically disavowing or disowning their own race. And many of us simply can't see it. Like you said, I said earlier, 10% own and control everything, 10% watch them do it, and then the other 80% simply has no idea what's going on. So many of us simply have no idea. Have no idea what's going on. Let's see if I catch up on these comments, man. Oh, Lord, a lot of comments, man. All right, 210. Being in debt. True. Fantastic. Good morning to you, King Amari. How are you? Man, my first bachelor's degree in criminal justice, man. Did nothing for it. Still paying for it. Still paying for it? How? Oh, Lord. The degree? Okay. All right. This is going to hurt today, huh? Yeah, student loans. Oh, my goodness. Blessings to you, Queen Siobhan. Pineapples. All right. Good morning, Patricia Pet Home. What's going on, Patricia? How are you? Good morning to you. How are you? Pineapples? That's right, man. Pineapple. Right, sad truth, man. Good morning to you, Sedley. How are you? Thanks so much for joining. Ben Carson, possibly, right? Yeah, why is he over there? How is he a Surgeon General? Well, I mean, how's he a surgeon and he over the HUD? That don't make no sense. Good day, man, to you. Thanks so much for joining. Al Sharpton. Good morning to you, Queen Adrian. Meritorious, man, you missing. Wow. Hey, pineapples. Tiger Woods. Woo, Lord. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm just reading the book, man. But Dr. Claude Anderson, he ain't holding no punches back. I mean, he ain't really say nobody's name. But while you read it, you can be like, oh, he must be talking about this person. Oh, Lord, what's going on with you, Kai? How are you? Thanks so much for joining us. All right, guys. So here's the deal. What I want to do now, man, is I actually want to take a look at coronavirus, do a quick coronavirus update, because here's the deal. Like, they open it back up. And then what I said is, okay, well, we ain't really done this in a while. So let's do a quick look and see what's going on with Corona. All right. A little Rona update here on Black Woman Wednesday again. Now, I'm not going to take a look at everything. I just really said, let's look at the United States, see what's going on. Because we haven't looked at these numbers in a while. And, we might become, ignorant to them as if it ain't. Just know this, man. There ain't no cure yet. Okay. So people talk about going to go get massages. I mean, I'm saying to myself, what the monkey? What y'all talking about? Listen, people ready to go back to living normal, like normal is going to be normal again. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, at any rate, let's take a look here. United States, which is here on this corona.help. You guys come here. The United States supposedly, based upon these numbers, has 1.4 million people that's been infected by this coronavirus or reportedly infected, because they might just call everything corona at this point. And we've had supposedly 83,000 deaths in the United States related to corona. Now, we've had almost 300,000 people that's recovered from corona, but we still have 1 million people reportedly still actively dealing with, haven't died yet, haven't fully recovered of this corona. Now, what I find interesting here is this is what I don't get. Or maybe I do get it. Supposedly, we got 1.4 million that's been infected, but we've conducted almost 10 million tests, supposedly. And, I don't know if I'm believing these numbers, but, we're just going to go with it. Now, what we can do, we can drill down to look at state by state. So if you are concerned about the state that you're in or whatever, you just want to know or just kind of get some idea what's going on in your state, just put your state down in the bottom and I'll get to it. I'm in Georgia, so I'm going to start there. And then if you want your state, want us to look at your state, again, I just think it's important that we be aware. Knowledge knowledge and understanding helps you get beyond fear. And I think, I don't want us to be like neglectful. I don't want us to neglect this knowledge, act like it's not happening, and it just baffles me to go out, because I live in Decatur, Georgia, which is probably one of the blackest, hoodest places, in the world. And to see my brothers and sisters out here traveling, going, man, listen, to go to the grocery store and the clerk don't even have on no mask, I don't get it. I can see if the people who just kind of coming in, they don't want to wear no mask, but damn, the clerk, the person behind is ringing stuff up, they need to have a mask on. And this is what's happening. Like, my community, it bothers me. It's almost as if we do not care about our own life. Matter of fact, we'll see black folk. I'm just gonna talk about black folk. I mean, I don't know what white folk do. They probably do the same thing. I don't know what Asian folk do. They probably do the same thing. But I've been black my whole life. Black folk literally care more about their car being clean than themselves. Black folk care more about their dog being all right than themselves. This what it's hard for me to get to you can't make this make sense. Okay, you can't make this. Now, it's not like for everybody. I'm just talking about generally speaking. If you go to a black neighborhood, you know, where it's predominantly black, I'm in Atlanta, Chocolate City, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, wear your fucking mask. Where's the mask? You don't care? I mean, you don't know. No mask, no gloves, no care. When I go to the post office they G'd up. And somebody come in front of them, they be like, where your mask at? You ain't got no mask. I can't help you if you got no mask. Shout out to the post office. Hey, I ain't helping. No, you ain't got no mask. I guess your mail ain't gonna happen today. Because it ain't not today, honey. Not today. Okay? Post office ain't playing. You come up in the post office without no mask, you ain't getting served. And I think that should be a policy for every business, black business, white business, and Asian business. If you ain't got no mask, you ain't getting served up in here. Because my life is more important, more valuable than whatever money I'm going to make per hour serving you and your dumb ass. I'm just saying. Okay? Now, let's take a look at Georgia. Again, if you have some state that you represent, let me know, and I'll try to get to it. Georgia's down here. Georgia's showing 34,000 people infected across the state. 14, almost 1,500 deaths so far. It's showing right now, I don't know if that recovery rate is right or not, but it's showing no recoveries in Georgia. Maybe I don't think that they have kind of filled this out all the way, but maybe they have, but it's a lot of zeros, so I don't think so. All right, let's see if you guys got a state you guys want me to take a look at. Okay. Good morning. Right, it's circus going on. There's a lot of clowns, right? You're not my circus, not my monkeys, man. Crazy. There's a circus going on. A lot of clowns participating up there. I know. I'm concerned about Georgia. Okay, you in Georgia? Yeah, people running around amok out here. Yeah, it's like you. And here's the deal. Like, it's not like we don't understand it, right? We get it. We've been quarantined, shelter in place. People got cabin fever. They want to get out. Right? They don't want to be confined to a mask. But listen, man, you know what I'm saying? Wearing shorts outside, no mask. It's sad. We're mentally traumatized. Slavery messed up our minds. Right. New York. Okay, New York. All right. Oh, y'all know New York is bad. New York is right up here at the top. So New York is the worst or the most highly infected area in the country, right? And it's very interesting because, I mean, not no conspiracy theory or nothing, but it seems like if it's going to happen in the United States, it's going to start and it's going to be worse all the time in New York, right? When 9/11, that was New York, right? It's like what's going, like, that's the place if you are going to, if I was going to take down the United States, as far as if I was fighting them or warring against them or whatever, I'd be going after New York. I wouldn't be going after Arizona. I'd be like, we can take down New York, we might be all right. So New York has 338,000 that's been infected since however long been out. Now this is infected. This is reportedly infected. This is could have the diagnosis wrong infected. So it's a lot in this number that we see. They've had thus far. California's had 27,000 deaths of those that have been infected. So 27,000. Let's see what this number is. What percentage is it? 27,284 divided by 338, 485. So that's an 8% mortality rate. That just simply means that out of the people who get infected, here's how many people actually die. And that's a high rate for New York. So 8%. The average is 3%. 3% mortality rate. New York is at 8% mortality rate. Out of these 338,000, they still have reportedly 311,000 that are still actively dealing with corona right now. They're sick. They're not dead, but they haven't recovered yet. All right. That's New York. Massachusetts. Okay, Massachusetts. All right, that's right here. So that's going to be up there in the Northeast. Everything that's in the Northeast, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, all of that stuff is probably going to be high numbers because that's where it seems to be concentrated up there. But Massachusetts, 79,000 infected, 79,332. Only 5,000 deaths, which is actually pretty good. 51-41. Comparatively speaking, we don't want to see anybody die. But the reality is every day somebody die. Okay. All right. Every day, even if Corona wasn't here, somebody would die. So that's only a 6%. That's still pretty high. 5,000 into that 79,332 number is a 6.5% mortality rate, which is still relatively high according to the average. And out of those 79,000, we still have about 75,000 that are still dealing with Corona in Massachusetts. All right. Anybody else? State of New York gave us masks and sanitizer. That's what I'm talking about, pushing the vaccine agenda. Okay, absolutely. So just want to do a quick coronavirus update, guys. I mean, this is just, it's important to know. I haven't done it in a while. And I said, man, let me just take a look and see what's going on up in here. Has the numbers going down? They're going up. We haven't looked at it in a while. So I wanted to do that here today, okay? I want to do that here today. All right. So now, let's do a quick little stock market thing. Then we'll get into the richest man in Babylon. All right. So here's news that you can use, guys, to take a look at the stock market. I don't think there's much news that I can use at all here. And we're going to do this tonight. So I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time doing this. Tonight in the BBC, we do have Welcome to Wall Street. We'll be actually going through the coronavirus stocks or the Corona stocks, which will be here. Corona stock, COVID-19 stocks. We're going to start going through those, see if we can find some diamonds in the rough. See what's going on up in here. Yesterday, the market was down. It is what it is. You had, I don't know what really was the moving portion of it, but it was down yesterday. So I lost a little money yesterday. It was down 1%, almost 457 points in the Dow. Now, General Mills did okay, but we had a lot of companies, here, Cody, Franklin Resources, BlackRock, that didn't do so well. Oil is actually continuing to rise. Remember, when oil's down to negative, it's now 26.46. And so those that follow me know I'm big on oil. Gasoline is 171 across the country. I felt good when I paid 168 yesterday. Gold is at 1710, so it hasn't really moved at all. Silver 1574 is actually going down from being mid-16s to 1574 over a week period. So these are just some key indicators of and the commodities that we have to look at. I think I'm going to anticipate a good day today. It's Wednesday, turn of the week. We had a bad day yesterday. I don't think we're going to have two bad days in a row. So I'm going to look forward to seeing if we're going to actually have an increase in the market today. And then we're going to take a look at more of the fear index. So once we get down below 39, we start getting into fear. We start getting into buying territory versus selling. Most people are selling. That's why I was going into fear. We're actually going to be picking up what they're selling because we're going to be able to get it for pennies on the dollar. Everybody putting down some pennies on the dollar. Relatively speaking, we're going to be able to get it for pennies on the dollar. Grand rising to you, Loki, Slick, Saucy in the house. Oh, y'all didn't even tell me I wasn't showing my screen. I thought I was showing my screen. My bad. Maybe I was. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm just talking and y'all ain't say nothing. So anyway, that's the emotion that's driving the market, okay? So I just want to do a quick coronavirus update, a quick market update, and we'll get into today, the richest man in Babylon. All right, the richest man in Babylon. Now, this book we're doing a teaching, we're doing a series, and we're just going to kind of just go through it. We're on page, not far, page 25. And what's happening here in The Richest Man in Babylon, again, this is a book that's written in 1920, 100 years ago. And it's filled with financial principles that for $10 you can get. And I do have it available in our store if you want to buy it from us, through us. That it literally is the book that helped me change the way that I think as it relates to my situation when I was broke, busted, and disgusted, and helped me go from being a financial zero to a financial hero. And that's why I'm so adamant about the things that you and I decide to read. We do have audiobooks now, so you might decide to listen, but I don't think there's anything that can replace reading, because with reading, it causes you to actually increase your patience. With reading, it causes you to slow down and think if you really want to read the book. So although audiobooks are cool, or stuff on your iPad is cool as well. That's however it is that you have your phone set up, you're going to obviously connect it that way. But this is the number one book that I recommend. It's $10, and you can begin your journey towards wealth by beginning your journey towards changing how you think, changing how you operate and process things, and then you can actually begin to have prosperity or wealth choice in your life. Now, here we are with the book. Arkad, which is the richest man in Babylon, he is telling his friends a story about how he got rich. And once he finishes telling them the story about, becoming a partner, how he handled money, his desires and all this stuff, his friends ask some of the same questions that will be asked upon you when you start to level up. When you begin to accomplish things in life, you're going to have your friends that will come to you and be like, how'd you do it? And they're going to start to doubt your answers as well. It's the same thing that happens. So we're going to catch up with the first friend. We'll go back through here. So he said the first friend, after he told him about after he became a partner in the estate and he was done with his tale, one of his friends said to him, "You were indeed fortunate that Algamish made you an heir. You were indeed fortunate. You were lucky." How you guys know that as you accomplish something in life, there's going to be people that says to you, you are lucky. You got lucky. After all the hard work that you did, after breaking your back, after putting in burning the midnight oil for years, for decades, for however long it takes for you to get to wherever it is that you're trying to go, people that watched you do it or who was there with you before you did it, they're going to come to you and say, man, you were one lucky son of a gun. You're one lucky son of a gun. So here's how Arkad, how I probably would have done it a little bit different because my mouth is something else, but here's how he responded. He said, lucky? He said, I'm fortunate only in that I had the desire to prosper before I met him. I already wanted to be rich before I met the moneylender. I already wanted to be rich before I met my teacher. That in itself is enough to really talk about something before you meet them. Some of us are thinking, man, if I just go hire the teacher, then I will build my desire. That's the reason why you don't finish what you start. Because you're fishing for something. You're hoping that something's going to come from the outside and inspire you to greatness when your greatness is actually going to be inspired by the inside. Here's the question that really is a good question to ask this morning, because we're just recapping what we started yesterday. What is it that you want? What do you desire? Now, you can have all types of desires, but there are certain desires that you have, certain things that you want that are of higher priority to you. What do you want? He wanted to get rich. I want to get rich. All the other stuff that I do in order to get rich is just a means to an end. But my main thing is get rich and build wealth. Obviously, along the way, I also want to build a money school. That's a desire of mine. Because I'm an educator and I teach people about money. So I said, well, the next level is to build a school. That's what I want to do. It may not be what you want to do. What is it that you have a desire to do? What is it that you really, really, really want? You can put that answer in the comments below. What is it that you really, really, really want? So I had a desire to prosper before I met him. For 4 years, did I not prove my definiteness of purpose by keeping 1/10 of all that I earned? Would you call a fisherman lucky who for years so studied the habits of the fish that with each changing wind, he could cast his nets about them? Opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared. Another friend of his spoke up and said, man, okay, all right, we got you. Okay, maybe you wasn't lucky, but you had strong willpower to keep on after you lost your first year savings. You are unusual in this way. You had unusual willpower. So first he was lucky. Now he's got unusual willpower. Willpower, retorted Arcad. What nonsense. Do you think willpower gives a man the strength to lift a burden the camel cannot carry or to draw a load the oxen cannot budge? Willpower is but the unflinching purpose to carry a task you set for yourself to fulfillment. If I set for myself a task, be it ever so trifling, I shall see it through. How many guys live your life like that? If I say that I'm going to do something for me, and no matter how small or trivial or trifling it may sound to other people, for example, I said to myself during the whole shelter in place, I'm going to cut my own hair. And I also said, well, you know what? I haven't gone bald in a while. I'm going to shave all my hair off, and this is how we're going to rock it through to go COVID-19. So I told a couple people. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I don't, it is what it is. But you know what? My head is shaved. So that was something I set for myself to do. So no matter what somebody else says or thinks, that's what was my goal. That's what I want to accomplish. That was my objective, to get all this thing cut off. And that's what I did. That's what I did. So, do you have an unflinching purpose to carry out your task you set for yourself to fulfillment? He said, if I set for myself a task, be it ever so trifling, I shall see it through. Everybody put it down, so see it through. If I say I'm going to do something for myself, it has nothing to do with anybody else, I'm going to see it through. I'm going to see it through. And let me say, I want to be wealthy and help my family and others and to teach them how not to be sick. Man, Sadler said, I want financial independence. Vivian said, I want us to stop being victims of the health industry, right? See it through. See it through. How shall I have confidence in myself to do the important things? If I won't do the small stuff, probably not going to do the big stuff. Should I say to myself, for 100 days as I walk across the bridge into the city, I will pick up from the road a pebble and cast it into the stream. If I said I was going to do that, that's exactly what I'm going to do. If on the seventh day I pass by without remembering, I would not say to myself, tomorrow I will cast 2 pebbles, which will do as well. No, instead, I will retrace my steps and cast the pebble. Nor on the 20th day should I say to myself, Arcad, this is useless. Why are you doing this? What does it avail you to cast a pebble every day? Throw in a handful and be done with it. No, I would not say that, nor do that. When I set a task for myself, I complete it. Therefore, I am careful not to start difficult and impractical tasks because I love leisure. Now, notice this. The first friend said, hey, here's how you did it. You got there by luck. The second friend said, oh, you did it because you had some type of unusual strength. You were different. You're better than us. We don't have it like you. We ain't got it like you. These are his friends that's talking like that. Imagine what his enemies are talking about. These are his friends talking like that. Now ask yourself this question. What kind of friends you got? What kind of friends do you have? These are his friends, his childhood friends. Oh, you got lucky. Not, man, good job, man. You did that thing, man. Cool, man. I'm happy for it. No, you got lucky. Oh, you got some unusual power. Who are your friends? In this particular situation, it's almost as if his friends envied him. They went to school together. They played together. They had the same opportunities, pretty much generally speaking. One did something very well with those opportunities. The others, not so much. Now, this is a big thing. This is a big thing, especially for Black folk. Simply, number one, doing what you say that you're going to do. starting what you say you're going to do, and then finishing what you say that you're going to do. That's like a part of our culture at this point, our American westernized culture. To be late, to start but don't finish, to jump to the next thing, always searching for something but never completing anything. Now, maybe some other people's problem too, but I'm just talking about black folk at this particular time because I've been black my whole life. But who are your friends? Then another friend spoke up and said, if what you tell is true, and it does seem, as you have said, reasonable, then being so simple, if all men did it, there would not be enough wealth to go around. So third friend comes and says, man, if everybody got rich, then everybody couldn't get rich because everybody trying to get rich. Everybody can't get rich because there ain't enough for everybody to be rich. Stinking thinking. So then he said, wealth grows wherever men exert energy. Our cat replied, if a rich man builds him a new palace, is the gold he pays out gone? No. The brickmaker has part of it, and the laborer has part of it, the artist has part of it, and everyone who labors upon the house has part of it. Yet when the palace is completed, is it not worth all that it costs? And is the ground upon which it stands not worth more because it's there? And is the ground that adjoins it not worth more because it is there? Wealth grows in magical ways. Everybody put it down. So wealth grows in magical ways. Wealth grows in magical ways. No man can prophesy the limit to it. Have not the Phoenicians built great cities on barren coasts with the wealth that comes from the ships of commerce on the seas? Wealth grows in magical ways. Now notice there's two things. He said wealth grows wherever men exert energy. Here's my question to you. Oh yeah, we're going to get to you now. Where do you consistently exert your energy on a regular and or daily basis? Wealth grows wherever men exert energy. Wealth grows in magical ways. I want you to think about the industry that you represent or whatever it is that you do, and you consistently do it. This is something that we can find you doing pretty much every day. This is where you exert your energy. And I want you to tell me if you found this to be true, that as you've given it your energy, which means will be your time, your effort, and your focus, your consistency, have you not found that in that particular area, wealth has begun to grow? You found more customers. You got more clients. You got more opportunity as you become an expert in this particular area, whatever that is for you. Have you not found this to be true? That if you've exerted energy, time, effort, focus, consistently, that in this particular case, as we have heard from the good book, that in all labor there is profit, that you've actually profited in the area in which you've exerted your energy. Now, here's the flip side to it. Some of us might say yes to this, but we didn't hear that word consistently. We might start in this particular area. We may join the network marketing company. We may think about doing a business or something like that. We might become an affiliate and post a couple of times, but not consistently, not over time. Wealth grows wherever men exert energy, and then wealth grows in magical ways. Give you an example. My book that I wrote. I took energy to write that book. It took energy to market that book. And then 5,000 copies later, wealth had grown in magical ways. Let me say that again. It took energy to write that book. It took energy to market the book, to put it out there, let people know that it was a thing. 5,000 copies later, I see that wealth grew in magical ways. I didn't know when I wrote that book or when I started that book or when I thought about writing the book or when it came upon me to write that book, I did not know my book would be in Australia. I didn't know that my book would be in China. I didn't know that my book would be in Germany and France. I did not know my book would be in Nigeria. I did not know that. In South America or Ethiopia. I did not know that. What I did know is that I was supposed to write the book. And what I did know is that I was supposed to let as many people as I could know that the book was a thing. That's where I exerted my energy. And then wealth began to grow in magical ways. What's that area for you? That you are exerting energy on a regular, consistent basis. Have you put something like this to the test, or is this your first time really hearing it this way? That, man, if I just give it my energy, my time, my focus, and my effort, all this from The Richest Man in Babylon, page 2024, yeah. A $10 book to change the way that you think. Stop blaming everybody else for your financial struggles and take control. Thomas said, man, wealth grows in magical ways. Wealth grows in magical ways. Doctor is in the house. Wealth grows in magical ways. Wealth grows in magical ways. Okay? Time, effort, focus, and consistency. So these are his three friends. They asked, one said you was fortunate, one said you must have had great willpower, you got something, you're a Superman, and then the other said, man, there's not, we can't get rich because it ain't enough wealth for everybody to get rich. Stinking thinking. So then they said, well, what then do you advise us to do that we may also become rich? Asked still another of his friends. The years have passed and we are no longer younger men and we have nothing put by. We got nothing saved. So what should we do? Now, this seems to be the wise friend. So instead of them saying, oh, you got lucky, the other friend saying, you strong, you a Superman. The other one saying, man, we can't get rich because there ain't enough to go around. Those are three stupid friends. At least he got a good friend. Say, well, okay, well, tell us how? Help me. How? One of the best questions you could ever ask someone who knows something that you don't know. How? This is a great, everybody putting down, so how? This is a great question. How? What do we do? Not why do we do it? Sometimes all you need to know is the how, the what to, the steps. You don't necessarily need to know why you need to take those steps. Especially if you listen to someone that has proven that whatever they about to tell you work for them. How? How do we do what you've done? Black billionaires, how do we become rich and wealthy like you? You know what the black billionaires say? Start by reading a book. How? He said, I advise you to take the wisdom of arguments and say to yourselves, a part of all I earn is mine to keep. He said, man, you say it in the morning when you first arise. Say it at noon. Say it at night. Say it each hour of every day. Say it to yourself until the words stand out like letters of fire across the sky. Say it until you believe it. That's basically what he just said. Now, some of y'all might say, how's that going? It's like Mr. Miyagi and Danny. So how's that going to help me get rich if I just say those words? Sometimes it's like that ain't the answer I was looking for. So I ain't gonna accept what you're telling me, although it could be a simple truth, because I'm looking for something particular, and I'm gonna find somebody that's gonna give me what I'm looking for. Although I act like I'm actually looking for advice, or I'm looking for some wisdom. I'm just looking for somebody to tell me what I want them to tell me, what I want to hear. That's not wise. Sometimes it's the simplest stuff. Many times it's the simplest stuff that get the best results. He simply said, you know what? If y'all really want to get rich, here's where you start. Everybody put down, so here's where I start. Here's where you start. He understood that it wasn't a tactical thing. It wasn't something that you had to do with your hands. That's not where you start. Not start with your hands. Don't start with your hands. Don't start with your feet. Don't start with your elbows. No. You got to start with your mind. With your mind. If your mind never gets there, the rest of your body never will. And it has nothing to do with you working hard. This we know how to do. We've been picking cotton a long time. Metaphorically speaking. We know how to work hard. That's great attribute to have. Work ethic, great attribute to have. But we haven't been working smart. Here's where you start. You start by changing the way that you think. And how do you do that? You put this affirmation in front of you, and you say it until you become it. Not even just say, listen, you don't even just say it to believe it. That's the first part. That's the first level of transformation, is to believe. How about you say it till you become it? You say it until you become it. See, I became Arcad. I became Algamesh. It wasn't just somebody, I believed first. I got to that level. I was like, oh, this makes sense. This should work. Yes, this was, okay, I can figure that out. I believed it. But I kept saying it until I became it. I kept saying it until I did something with it. I kept saying it until I practiced it. Kept saying it until I became it. And then when I became it, I started to see the other things happen in my life. I started to see no more debt, being debt-free for the past 5 years of my life. Debt-free. And it started with a book. And then it moved into me doing what the book told me to do. How? Well, here's how. Here's my advice to you. Take the wisdom of Algamesh and say to yourself, a part of all I earn is mine to keep. Say it in the morning when you first arise. Say it at noon. Say it at night. Say it each hour of every day. Say it to yourself until the words stand out like a fire across the sky. Impress yourself with this idea. Fill yourself with the thought. Then take whatever portion seems wise. Let it not be less than 1/10 and lay it aside and save it. Arrange your other expenditures to do this if necessary, but lay by that portion itself. Save this portion itself. Soon you will realize what a rich feeling it is to own a treasure upon which you alone have claim. As it grows, it will stimulate you. And a new joy of life will thrill you. Greater efforts will come to you to earn more. For of your increased earnings, will not the same percentage be also yours to keep? Then learn to make your treasure work for you. Make it your slave. Make its children and its children's children work for you. We'll stop there. He's got a whole bunch more to say. We'll stop there today, here this morning on the Money and Power Show. Impress yourself with the idea. Impress yourself with the idea. Fill yourself with the thought. And as he said here, it will stimulate you. It'll stimulate you. Your savings. That's what we're doing here, Save Train. Your savings. When you start to see, like, oh, look what I did. Wow, $210. I ain't never saved $210. I just did that in 20 weeks. Wow. I mean, it just seemed like every time I go to the bank, I got negative money. Now I got $200 here because I paid myself first. I said, this year we're going to do something different. I'm tired of being broke. I'm just going to do what they tell me to do, and I ain't going to ask no other questions. And then my savings will start to stimulate me. See, when you pay yourself first, you ain't worried about no stimulus check because you already got stimulus money. Not concerned with what the government is going to do, what they're not going to do, because you are taking care of you out of your earnings. Pay yourself first. This is the Money and Power Show. And again, guys, Black Woman Wednesday. In the comments below, I'd like for you to share one thought, something that you want to say to the Black woman today. Let them know that how much you appreciate them. Let them know how much you love them here today on Black Woman Wednesday. I'll tell you, Black woman, my goodness, I was raised by a Black woman. And I got a special thing for the Black women out there. I know I give y'all a hard time. Y'all give me a hard time. It is what it is. But it's nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, baby. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate your support. I just love the way you do your thing. We can all get better. But you show up. And for that, I appreciate you. Show up. You're the strength of our community. You're a backbone of what we do. And we do it for you. We do it to impress you. We do it to see a smile. We do it for your heart to flutter. Black woman, we love you. I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God that's more than enough. It's time to get up, to get out, and go get something. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there in the next episode of the new Black Wall Street. The new